story as a migraine sufferer and the things that I've done to reach a point in my life where I have accepted and learned how to work with my conditions and celebrating my first week pain and migraine free. I'm very happy about that. I'll start with my story. My first migraine happened when I was at summer camp. I was getting ready to go to lunch and we were all standing around singing the songs and I just felt awful, like blurry vision. I couldn't I was just like, what is going on? And I went and sat down for lunch and then I just was like, oh no, I'm gonna puke. Ran outside, did my thing on the cement right in front of everyone, which was great for an 11-year-old at summer camp, right? And then I felt awful. I was still puking. I went to bed for hours and hours and hours, and then I woke up and I just was I felt better. My second migraine happened the same year in school. I just started to feel awful. Same thing, nauseous. My head hurt. I felt like I couldn't pick my head up off the desk. And my teacher was like, you look not good. You should go home. And it was the last period of the day, so I went home. But I fell asleep. And then I woke up this time and I puked. And then I felt better. It was fine after that. And then my migraines happened, those kind of migraines happened every once in a while after that. It was not often, not every week. I didn't know when they would come, and I think that was probably the worst part, is because they would come on the worst times, but that always happens, right? When I was in high school, my sophomore year, I started to talk to my doctor about my chronic migraines that were happening weekly or monthly, and also headaches that were happening every day. She did all kinds of things that they recommend you do, birth control is one of the things that they say can cause migraines. So I switched my birth control then. She recommended removing dairy and gluten, which helped, but I still was getting migraines. Removing meat from your diet is another one. Then a couple years later, after we were trying all these things, it was finally, let's just try some medicine. So she put me on some medicine that I take every day, and then medicines that help me if I'm feel a migraine attack coming on, and also help with the nausea. So those have helped me a lot. I don't blame it all on taking the medicine, but I do notice that when I don't have my medicine, I feel way awful. I can feel it in my body. So for me, that's one thing that I have to always be remembering and mindful of, is that I have to take this medicine to prevent migraines. But the other things that I've done that I think are helping are a big, huge part of it too. So last semester was probably the worst. I would get migraines or chronic pain in my body almost every day. I didn't want to go to class. I didn't want to work out. I didn't want to hang out with my friends. My posture got really bad, and it was just I was in pain. I was taking my medicine every day, and I just I was not at a good place. I felt absolute shit, to be honest, and I just was this is it. I have to do something about this. So over the break between semesters, I did some research. I started learning about migraines. I started my blog, started this channel. I started learning about medical marijuana and using CBDs specifically. I started learning about migraines in general. I learned that migraines affect about 38 million people in the United States, and most of them are women. About 91% of people who suffer from migraines cannot function during an attack. So that would mean they wouldn't be able to go to work or school, which happened to me. So I'm just glad I'm not the only one. It's a neurological condition, so that means that it's something in my DNA is different than someone else who doesn't suffer from chronic migraines. For example, like say that light is a trigger for my migraines, or gluten intolerance is a trigger for my migraines. What is really sensitive for my DNA might not be sensitive for someone who's not a migraine sufferer. So say I walked into a loud room and it triggered a migraine, it might not for someone else. So that's like one of the hardest things with dealing with migraine, is like you could meet someone who also deals with migraine, but they don't deal with it in the same sense that you do, because different triggers and different things relieve and trigger the, migraine. But I was really happy because today, the 29th of January, I finished my first week as a free woman, I guess. I mean, it was my first week that I didn't have a migraine at least once, and that is amazing. Luna, come here. Sorry, I had to get the loon from down there. Yeah, so I have my first week not dealing with migraines, and I decided to make a video because I was super happy about it, and I've just been feeling so great with my health, and I've been feeling like I've been better, way better. So let's see, sorry. So let's talk about my diet. First, I have eliminated like lots of snacks, at least I'm trying to, how it can be. So most gluten products and most dairy products, like sometimes I'll still use butter, or if I go out and have coffee, I won't buy the coconut milk or whatever, but yeah, I've been trying to eliminate dairy and a lot of gluten. I don't like completely not have gluten. Like I really like granola and some cereals, but yeah, like the snacking and bread is a big thing. I noticed that when I eat like shit, I feel like shit. So I just eat tons of veggies. I have like a smoothie bowl in the morning, or one right before I go to the gym, and I've been eating superfoods like chlorella, and like different things like that. And yeah, I've just been noticing that it's been helping a lot. I eat only lean grass-fed meat now, and lots of vegetables for dinner. It's not boring. I never get bored of it. It's kind of cool, actually, because there's so many different ideas for all the healthy food you can come up with. Let's see. I tried to cut out my coffee intake because I noticed that my when I drink coffee in the morning, it kind of makes me feel like, which is the exact opposite. Like, I think it just dehydrates my body. I love coffee, but I have just been trying to stop drinking 3 cups a day. I replaced it with green tea, which I have here because I tried to film this video earlier and it turned out like shit again. So I remade it, but there's a tea, and then at night I'll have the chamomile before I go to bed, so it helps me sleep. Another thing that I really want to point out is that I've been I think it's really important that you listen to your body, and if you're hungry, don't starve yourself. Literally eat food. If you're hungry for chips, you could be craving fats, like what you could find in nuts, or something like that. Sweets you could replace with berries, etc., etc. It's just when you're hungry, you have to remember that you're hungry for a reason. Your body's craving nutrients, and those nutrients are something that you literally have, it needs to survive. So, that's a big thing that I point out is, if you're hungry, you eat. A balanced life is making sure that your body gets what it needs. So that's another thing that I emphasize, especially as a migraine sufferer, because we take a lot of medicine, and the medicine affects your stomach and can make you really sick too. So eating a lot of food, healthy food, is good for that, because you don't want to get sick from your medicine. That just makes it no point, right? Let's see. 2, exercise. I started working out more. Today, Will and I left the gym, and we noticed that 2 weeks ago when we started going together, or so, I guess it was 2 weeks ago, we only went for like 30 minutes, but today we were there for like an hour and a half, and we barely even felt like we were there for that long. So it just gets easier. It's like makes the pain in your body, like when you're not working out, better too. So like for me, I usually suffer from like a lot of back pain and like neck pain and like my whole back, and just like I can't pick my head up. That's the kind of feeling of pain I get. And so when I started working out, like at first I felt awful. Like getting through the first 3 or 4 days of being sore and like getting your body up and working again, you're like dying in the gym. It's like, oh my God, you know? But once you get out of that, you start to like, you're like, wow, I can, you know, I can pick my head up and not feel exhausted. I can take my dog for a walk and not have to take a nap after. I can clean the house and not be winded, you know. And like if I'm feeling awful, I don't work out. Sometimes, like last week I had like a little bit of a migraine feeling coming on, and I was like, oh, I'll just go to the gym. And I went to the gym, and it made it way worse. Like I was throwing up, and so it wasn't a very good idea. So that was my fault. But what triggers a migraine for me could make it better for someone else. So like if you're a migraine sufferer, it's just something that you have to really listen to your body for, and realize like what's best for you and figure it out, because that's the only way you'll reach like a place that you don't have to suffer from migraines every single day, because that's literally what migraines are from, you know, not listening to your body or something irritating your body and something in your brain. My third point is less screen time. I turned off the TV for like 5 days last week, and that was huge for me because I love to watch TV. I love to watch movies. I binge watch Private Practice for the third time, and House, and you know, all those shows. It's just like, I love my TV. I don't know. And it just, I can't emphasize enough how much screen time and like reading a book before bed helps you sleep. It like makes you not stress about like seeing people on TV and being like, oh, I wish I was a fancy doctor named Addison Montgomery, and you know, so that was a big thing for me. But it's hard because social media and all that stuff is like a big part of my life. And yeah, if you guys have any questions, please go ahead and just send me a message from my website, which I'll link below. And if you have any questions about any of the products I use for migraine or the medicines that my doctor prescribed me, I'd be more than willing to share. Just please let me know.